It's to frustrate you. When the government decides to intimidate you, this is what happens. You go 20 policemen and more to one person who is unarmed, who is in his home, who is peaceful. You come with guns and threaten him. You come with plainclothes policemen and tell him that he needs to explain something at the station. Something which, if you are reasonable and you are independent, you can be able to have him explain from his own home. You don't have to take him to a police station. You don't have to take him to a cell. But because intimidation must be the key, then what do? You bundle him into a motor vehicle and go and lock him up in a cell. And when you want to release him, you blackmail him. You tell him you must obey what we want to tell you to do so that we can release you. How then do we trust such a government? How then do we trust such a police force? Remember, when the president signed his first documents when he was sworn in, one of the things was the independence of the police. But these policemen are acting under the thumb of a political force. When you assume that somebody is going to create chaos, when you imagine that he's going to create chaos, and then you do not have even an iota of evidence, you do not have anything to show that he has actually committed any offense, not by speech, not by action, not by mobilizing, not by calling people, then there's something wrong. And this cannot be acceptable. We cannot allow the government to keep on threatening people because you have decided to take a stand over a different position. I know for a fact, because I have sat in that government. I know for a fact, because I sat with the current president. I know for a fact, because I moved around with him. And I know for a fact, because I campaigned for him. This is the nature of his operations. And I cannot step back saying that. The people who help him are now the people that he is crushing, that the people is bullying, that the people he does not want to speak anything against him. Why? Because first of all, they know what he can do or what he is, and that they do not want him there anymore. This cannot be the way, because when you promise people that there will not be any harassment, people will not be arrested haphazardly and all that, and yet you go back and do the same thing, tell me why we should trust you as our president. Tell me why we should trust you with your cabinet or your Minister of Interior and the PS. We are seeing people being beaten in Kisumu. We are seeing members of parliament who are in the opposition being beaten and being harassed. When did this start? It is because we have kept quiet. It is because we think that this is normal. It is because we are saying it will maybe tomorrow will come. But we can't wait for tomorrow. This is the time to act. This is the time to tell them this is wrong. If actually, and this is a fact, if Mheshimiwa Kemosi had done anything wrong, do you think they could have released him? No. Today, he would be in court. Today, he'll be facing charges. But why? Because today, there is some intended maandamano and all that, that they think that maybe he may, and this is an imagination, that he might be able to mobilize people or do such a thing. But even in arresting him and putting him in custody with no exact charges or any wrong that he has done, the people knew. The people went to the station. The people were there overnight. They were saying, please release Mheshimiwa or tell us what wrong he has done. So for them, it was two wrongs now, and they were realizing that if they do not release him, people might storm the station. People might now start the maandamano. The one that they want to prevent might just start by their own action. It is time to say no. It is time to say one time. It is time to say that these people need to go home. We need to clean the slaves. We need to remove all those people that are there. The only way is to inject and say it is a one-term system. Let that gentleman leave and go home. And I'm certain when he goes to rest, we will not bully him. We will not harass him. When he's at home there, we will not visit him with 20 policemen and all those kinds